regular corporate income tax or RCIT or the normal tax for corporate taxpayers. How do we compute this? Samahan niyo ako and let's discuss this together with another episode of EDT Talk. If you are new to my channel, I'm Mr. Enrico D. Tabag. Some call me EDT for short. I'm a college professor, I'm a book author, and I am a tax and accounting practitioner. My channel, EDT Talks, is dedicated to simplify taxation as a subject to make it easier to understand. This is already our third video on our lecture series pertaining to income tax on corporations. So the first two videos pertain to taxable corporations as well as tax-exempt corporations. So since we are already done identifying kung ano-ano yung mga taxable corporations at kung ano-ano yung mga tax-exempt corporations, so tama lang na dapat we proceed with the computation na ng income tax ng isang corporation. So how do we compute the income tax of a corporation? Okay? So, samahan niyo ako again, okay? And let's discuss this together with the amendment in our tax code introduced by RA 11534, also known as Create Law. So, for us to determine the correct regular corporate income tax of a corporation, okay, we should be able to identify first itong mga to. Una, we should be able to classify first the corporation. Why? Kasi iba-iba yung basis ng computation ng RCIT. So halimbawa, kung yan ay domestic corporation, ang isasama natin sa computation ay lahat ng income ng corporation na yan within the Philippines man yan na earn or outside of the Philippines. So we will discuss that mamaya. So aside from properly classifying first the corporation, we need to know also kung ano yung source ng income. Okay? Subject to tax. Okay? Kasi baka mamaya, foreign corp pala yan. So kung foreign corp yan, of course, we exclude yung mga income na source. Okay? Or nanggaling, or nag-originate. Okay? Or na-derive abroad. Kasi kung foreign corp yan, dapat ano lang yan. Lahat lang ng income niya na na-earn dito sa Philippines. Okay? We also take note of the basis of income tax. Kasi kung yan ay domestic corporation, yan ay RFC, net income yan. Okay? Samantalang kung NRFC, gross income yan. So uulitin natin yan sa mga next slides. Okay? And then number 4, we also need to know kung anong income ba yung tinatax natin. So since our topic is RCIT, we should only pertain to ordinary income. So sa mga susunod na mga slides natin, we will identify bakit, ano-ano ba yung mga iba't ibang klase ng income at ano-ano ba yung applicable tax sa bawat klase ng income na yon. Okay? And then lastly, number 5, yan na yung computation mismo ng RCIT natin. So before we will be able, okay, to compute the correct amount of RCIT, we need to determine the other items here as identified. Okay? So puntahan natin types of corporations. Okay? So sa batas natin, there are 3 types of corporations. Meron tayong domestic corporations. Alam nyo naman siguro ito. We are pertaining to corporations na na-organize dito sa Pilipinas. We pertain to corporations na na-incorporate dito sa Pilipinas. Okay? So that's domestic corporations. So, yan yung mga corporations, okay, na-create ng ating batas. Created by Philippine laws. So, domestic corporation yan. Okay, next. The other type of corporation is resident foreign corp. Okay, kasi ano lang naman yan either DC or foreign corp. As to foreign corp, maaring yan ay resident foreign corp. So when you say resident foreign corp, yung foreign corporation na yan ay nag-ooperate din sa Pilipinas. Pero liwanagin ko hindi iyan na-incorporate dito sa Pilipinas. Na-incorporate yan abroad. Kasi kung dito yan na-incorporate, domestic corporation na ang tawag natin doon. So, paano ba sir mag-operate dito sa Pilipinas ang isang foreign corp? So kung halimbawa si foreign corp A, gusto niyang mag-operate dito sa Pilipinas, ano bang gagawin ng foreign corp A? Magpa-file ba siya ng articles of incorporation sa SEC natin? The answer is no. Pag foreign corporation yan, ang ini-issue lang ng ating SEC ay permit to operate. Hindi articles of incorporation. Permit to operate lang. And therefore, pag nag-ooperate na yan dito sa Pilipinas, ang tawag mo dyan ay RFC. Okay? And the third one, okay, also pertaining to foreign corporation, pero yan yung mga foreign corporation na non-resident. Halimbawa, NBA is a corporation. NBA, kunwari yun ang pangalan niya, NBA Corp. Tama-tama, usong ano ngayon ang NBA, mainit dahil playoff, di ba? So NBA is a foreign corp. Nagde-derive ng income sa Pilipinas. Kasi nila live stream sa Pilipinas. O kaya, inalaw ng NBA na ipalabas yan sa TV5, etc., etc. So, syempre si TV5, a domestic corporation, will be paying NBA headquarters. So natural, as you can see, wala namang office yan dito sa Pilipinas. So we are simply pertaining to a foreign corporation na nasa ibang bansa. Therefore, ang tawag natin doon, NRFC. So we need to classify the corporations either domestic, resident, or non-resident kasi nga iba-iba yung basis. Okay? Iba-iba din yung treatment ng ibang items. Kaya kailangan nating ma-classify. Okay, so again in computing RCIT, we need to know saan galing yung income. Okay? Kasi kung ang pinag-uusapan ay domestic corporation, we need to add, okay, or we need to include income na na-derive both dito sa Pilipinas at abroad. And as you can see, siya lang naman yung corporate taxpayer na taxable within and without. So the moment that the corporation is a domestic corporation, irrelevant kung saan galing yung income. Kasi saan man galing yan, it will be subject to RCIT, okay, or to corporate tax. However, kung foreign corporation yan, resident man or non-resident, ang isasama lang natin sa computation ay lahat lang ng na-earn dito sa Pilipinas. So we will not include yung income ng foreign corporation na na-derive abroad. Okay? The other one is basis of income subject to tax. So, ano ba yung tinatax? Gross income ba? Gross sales ba? Net income ba? So as you can see, domestic corporation sa RFC ay based sa net income. So pag sinabi mong net income, kunwari, start ka sa sales, then i-less mo natural yung cost of sales, then i-less mo yung operating expenses. Okay? So that's how you compute. So pag na-compute mo na yung net income, then multiply it by the corporate tax rate. Okay? However, kung ang corporation na binabanggit natin ay non-resident foreign corporation, ang basis ng tax, okay, is gross income. Pag sinabi mong gross income, that pertain to sales less cost of sales. So ang difference lang, sa net income, allowed ka ng operating expenses. Pero pag gross income, you are not allowed to deduct the operating expenses. Kaya nga gross income simply sales less cost of sales. Kung yan ay sale of service, the revenue, okay, less cost of services. So that's how you compute. So yun yung bakit kailangan nating i-discuss ang sources of income saka basis of income subject to tax. As to the type of tax to be applied, kailangan malaman natin anong klaseng income ba yung itatax natin. Kasi kung ordinary income yan, basically RCIT. Ito yung topic natin ngayon. Pero kahit ordinary income yan, kung siya ay NRFC, ano yan? FWT, Final Withholding Tax. There are only 3 types of income sa ating National Internal Revenue Code or Tax Code na subject sa income tax. We have ordinary income, We have passive income derived in the Philippines as well as capital gains. Okay? So pag sinabi mong ordinary income, from the term itself, ordinary income. So ito yung na-derive from the regular course of trade or business. Dealer ako, okay? Dealer ako ng mga cellphones. Okay? So dahil dealer ako ng mga cellphones, may mga nabebenta akong mga cellphones. Oh, that is derived or the revenue was derived from the main operation of the business. Okay? Ang tawag mo doon, ordinary income. At yan yung isasubject sa regular corporate income tax. However, kung ang pinag-uusapan natin ay interest income sa bank, deposit, deposit substitute, trust fund, mutual fund, and other similar arrangement, provided yan ay nasa Pilipinas, na-derive sa Pilipinas, FWT yon. Okay? The other one is royalty income as well as dividend income. Okay? Passive income in the Philippines yung mga yan, it will be subjected to FWT. We will discuss mamaya kung anong rate. And then the third type of income is capital gains. Dalawa yan, capital gains on shares of stocks ng domestic corporation na non-listed as well as real properties in the Philippines. Okay? So, kung capital gains tax yan or pasok yan sa mga requirements ng shares of stocks sa real properties, then it will be subjected to capital gains tax. Okay? So, kaya ang isang technique dito ay kung hindi yan subject sa passive income or FWT at hindi subject sa capital gains tax, then it must be classified as ordinary income subject to the regular corporate income tax unless exempt under the law. So, yung mga nahihirapan, dapat hindi kayo mahirapan kasi tatlo lang naman yung passive income. Interest income, royalty income, dividend income. Ulitin ko, hindi lahat ng interest income ha. We only pertain to interest income on bank deposit, deposit substitute, trust fund, mutual fund, other similar arrangement. Tapos royalty income in the Philippines, saka dividend income in the Philippines. We will be discussing these items sa separate video soon. Okay? Kaya kung papansinin mo, parang cuts all provision itong si ordinary income. Okay? Pag hindi yan passive, pag hindi yan capital gains, at hindi naman exempt under the law, the tax is RCIT. That's how you determine kung ano ang tax niyan. Kaya kung i-summarize natin, ganito rin siya. Oh. So kung ordinary income yan, basically basically RCIT yan, the rate under the train law is 20% kung MSME, pero kung hindi MSME, 25%. Okay? So yan yung rate ng ating RCIT. However, kung yan ay RFC, 25% pa rin. So hindi mag-a-apply kay foreign corporation yung 20%. Kasi yung 20%, para yan sa mga domestic corporation na classified as MSME. Kailan ka naman i-classify, sir, na MSME? MSME ka kung ang assets mo, assets ng company ay hindi lalagpas 100 million, o ang laki nun, no? At saka ang net income in a year ay hindi lalagpas 5 million. Pag na-meet yung dalawang requirements, then we can say, kay MSME siya. Pag hindi na-meet kahit isa doon, hindi siya MSME. Gamitin mo 25%. And it applies only to domestic corporation. It will not apply to RFC. As to RFC, isang rate lang yan, 25% RCIT. Okay? And then the last one is NRFC or non-resident foreign corporation. Okay? So, hindi rin yan subject sa MSE rate na 20%. Again, yung MSE rate ay para lang yan sa domestic corporation. Pero kung RFC yan, as well as NRFC, pareho lang yan na 25%. However, as to NRFC, final withholding tax dapat yan. Okay, and then diniscuss ko naman yung passive income. Ito yung mga tax rates. We will discuss this in a separate video. Okay? Depende kung DC ka or RFC, and then kung NRFC ka. And then the capital gains. So yung capital gains on shares of stocks applicable sa lahat. Pero yung real properties ay para lang sa mga domestic corp. Okay, so ito ang ating focus. Okay? Sa video na to, RCIT, the Regular Corporate Income Tax. Tinatawag din yan na basic tax ng corporation. Tinatawag din yan na normal tax ng isang corporation. Okay? So as you can see, kinompare natin itong dalawa. Sa train law, the tax rate ng corporation ay 30%. Pero under Create Law, okay? So ulitin ko ha, nag-take effect yung Create Law April 11, 2021. However, binanggit ko din sa nakaraang video na some of its provisions ay may effectivity na earlier than April 11, 2021. Example ay yung revised RCIT rate. Okay? Nag-take effect to noong July 1, 2020. So, under Create Law, kung yan ay domestic corporation, the rate to be applied is either 20% or 25%. Kailan 20%? Kung yan ay tatawaging MSME. Kailan tatawagin na MSME? Kung mamimit niya yung dalawang requirements. Number 1, ang assets niya dapat hindi lagpas 100 million. And number 2, ang net income niya dapat hindi lalagpas ng 5 million. Pag pareho na meet, MSME yan. Kung MSME yan, ang tax rate lang 20%. However, kung meron hindi na meet doon, okay? So ibig sabihin hindi siya MSME, the rate will be 25%. Basic tax tong mga to, basic tax. Nonetheless, pagdating sa NRFC, sabi naman natin pag NRFC basis niyan, ano yan? Gross income. Gross income to kasi hindi naman tayo nagdeduct. Okay? Yan. So, gross income pa rin yan. Multiply mo yan 25%. Pag NRFC, nag-take effect yan January 1. Okay? 2021. Pero yung DC NRFC nag-take effect ng July 1, 2020. Kaya kung mag-e-exam ka ngayong October, talagang kasama yan sa computation. Okay? So sige, so ulitin natin na. Ang RCIT, bago mag-create law, 30%. Pero under create law, 20 and 25. 20 pag MSME, 25 pag domestic corporation, 25 din kapag ka NRFC. Okay, so just to emphasize no, yung ating MSME or tinatawag na micro, medium, and small enterprises. Okay? So pasok yan sa tinatawag na MSME kung ang kanyang total assets ay hindi lalagpas 100 million at so dapat mamit pareho. Ang net taxable income ay hindi lalagpas ng 5 milyon. Pag na-meet yung dalawang requirements na yan, then the tax rate will only be 20%. At I just want to emphasize, this is applicable only to domestic corporation. It will not apply to foreign corp. At yung effectivity ng revised rates natin under Create Law, 20% sa DC, 25% sa DC na hindi MSME, okay, as well as RFC, is applicable or nag-take effect yan based sa Create Law noong July 1, 2020. So dahil July 1, 2020 yon, July 1, 2020 rin itong MSME. At tandaan mo, yung total assets na tinutukoy natin na 100 million shall exclude yung lupa na kung saan nakatirik yung opisina ng company, kung saan matatagpuan yung planta and equipment, okay, during the year. Okay, so kahit na more than 100 million ang assets niyan, kung kasama pala yung lupa na kung saan doon naman located yung opisina ng company, okay, o kaya planta ng company, o kaya doon nakaano yung mga equipment ng company, exclude mo yung halaga ng lupa for you to determine kung nag-exceed siya ng 100 million or hindi. At wag na wag mong kakalimutan, itong 20% na to ay applicable lang sa domestic corporation. At nag-take effect to July 1, 2020, pero yung 25% ng NRFC, nag-take effect naman yan ng January 1, 2021. So yan yung mga effectivity dates natin, ha, wag niyong kakalimutan. So nag-take effect yung revised rate sa domestic corp noong July 1, 2020. Ganun din yung RFC, July 1, 2020 din. Pero yung NRFC ay nag-umpisa lang January 1, 2021. Therefore, kung NRFC ang pinag-uusapan, tapos 2020 ang taxable year, dapat ang rate pa rin ay yung kagaya ng train law, which is 30%. Kung NRFC, ha, kung NRFC. Okay, next, illustrate natin. Illustration number 1, assuming 2021 yung taxable year. Okay, so diretso muna tayo sa tanong. Question number 1. Magkano income tax due kung siya ay domestic corp? Pag sinabi mong income tax due, yan yung babayaran mo pa sa BIR. At you are pertaining to income na hindi subject sa FWT sa capital gains tax. Kasi pag subject sa FWT yung income, yung na-receive mo, na-tax na yun eh. It will not be taxed anymore. Saka yung tax nun final na. Kaya pag sinabi mong income tax due, wala nang due sa mga income na subject sa FWT. So exclude mo 'yon. Kaya ang sinasama lang dito ay mga ordinary income. Okay? Yan. So balikan ko, magkano ang income tax due? So we pertain to income na ordinary kapag kayan ay domestic corporation. By the way, dahil domestic corporation to, as discussed in our previous videos, you need to the source of the income will be irrelevant because since DC yan, it will be taxed in the Philippines, okay, regardless kung saan na-derive yung income. Kaya kung pansinin mo sa given natin, kung ito gross income ng Philippines, less expense ng Philippines, gross income ng Malaysia, less expenses ng Malaysia, syempre FWT to. Okay, syempre capital gains tax to. O dahil domestic corp siya, pagsamahin mo yung dalawang bansa, yung Pilipinas saka abroad. Okay? Pilipinas saka abroad. And then, compute the two. So as you can see, dahil domestic corp to, ang basis ng tax natin ay net income dapat. Net. So we need to deduct the expenses. So after deducting it, we will arrive at 8,650,000. Sir, bakit 25% ang ginamit? Unang-una, pansinin nyo, wala namang nilagay na walang nilagay na halaga ng asset ng company. Pero pansinin mo, lagpas 5 million yung net income. Kung lagpas 5 million yung net income, hindi siya MSME. Dahil hindi siya MSME, gamitin natin yung rate na 25%. And this is our answer. Sir, pwede ba namin i-assume na 20%? Mahirap kasi hindi pwede dyan dahil ang liwanag nung net income, the net income should only be 8,650,000. So that's how you compute the RCIT ng domestic corporation. If you want to know more about or if you want to practice more sa pag-compute ng RCIT, syempre, supportahan mo naman ako. Bilhin mo yung ating CPA Reviewer in Taxation 2021 edition. Napakaraming quizzers dito. May mga solutions na saka explanations. So you can practice more, okay? Or pwede mo kaming silipin sa Accountancy Review Center. So that is our CPA Review Center. Ang tawag namin, ang pangalan ay Accountancy Review Center, okay? ARC. Hindi naman pwedeng i-discuss ko lahat-lahat dito, okay? So kahit papaano, alam mo pa rin on how to kung paano mag-compute ng RCIT. So again, so this will be your answer. Sir, question, what if this is lower than 5 or not higher than 5M? Can we now use 20%? Hindi pa rin. Bakit? Hindi maliwanag kung magkano ang assets dalawa ang criteria assets saka income, di ba? Net income. So kung binanggit na yung net assets ay kung yung assets ay hindi naman lagpas sa threshold, Okay, na 100 million, tapos hindi rin naman lagpas sa threshold na 5 million yung net income, then in that case, pwede mo siyang gamiting 20%. So, ito, 20%. Bakit nag-20% tayo dito sa quizzer number 2? Kasi pasok siya sa requirement. Nahuhuli yung pen ko yan. Ganun lang naman. Ang difference ng 1 and 2, yung 1, hindi siya MSME, pero domestic corp, so 25%, taxable within and without. 2, same problem, pero MSME. So dahil MSME, ang gagamiting rate ay 20%. Oh, ganun lang naman. Okay, how about kung yung corporation ay resident foreign corp? So sabi natin, isa lang naman yung klase ng corporation na taxable within and without. That's the domestic corp. The moment na foreign corporation yan, huwag mong isama yung mga income na na-derive abroad. Okay? So dito ka lang sa Philippines. At dahil resident naman yan, the basis is still net taxable income. So as you can see, 4,250,000 to, multiply mo ng 25% kasi 2021. So that's the revised rate, okay, sa create law. So this will be your answer. Sir, paano kung MSME? Again, it will not apply to foreign corp. Yung MSME ay applicable lamang sa domestic corp. Kaya pag foreign corp yan, 25% talaga. Domestic corp lang yung 20 or 25. Depende kung MSME. Pag foreign corp, isang rate lang yan, 25%. Okay? So I hope maliwanag. Question number 4. Paano naman kung non-resident foreign corp? Sabi natin, pag non-resident foreign corp yan, ang basis ay gross income. Pansinin mo, wala itong OPEX. Bakit? Wala dito sa Pilipinas yan Paano magkakaroon ng expense dito sa Pilipinas? So, syempre, dahil foreign corp yan, ang isasama mo lang sa computation ay mga income na na-derive niya sa Pilipinas. So, dapat ang mga expenses lang din na allowed ay expenses na na-derive niya sa Pilipinas. Pero since non-resident nga yan, edi hindi practical na i-allow mo yung OPEX. Kasi kung may OPEX man yan, abroad yun. Hindi yan dito sa Pilipinas. Okay? At tandaan mo, non-resident foreign corp to Wala ito sa Pilipinas. Dahil wala ito sa Pilipinas, paano siya magbabayad ng tax? Okay? Kaya ang mangyayari pag ganyan, yung payor, okay? Yung payor, siya yung may responsibility na i-withheld yung 25% at i-remit sa BIR. Kaya yung withholding magiging FWT. So FWT to, hindi ito basic tax, FWT yan. At tandaan mo, 'di ba, tatlong klase ang income? May ordinary income, may passive income. Okay, ordinary income, passive income, capital gains na subject sa capital gains tax. Capital gains tax to Pero itong dalawa, pagsasamahin mo to. Tapos ang rate niyan, 25%. Kaya pansinin mo, yung interest income sa bank deposit, which is normally a passive income, sinasama natin ngayon. Okay? Sir, yan lang ba yung passive income niya? So, silipin ko lang yung problem. Yan lang. Kasi yung isa, capital gain on shares of DC. So, capital gains tax yun. Okay? So, balikan ko, si NRFC, NRFC number 4 yun. Yan. So, pagsasamahin mo to, so wag kalimutan pagsamahin ang ordinary income and passive income and single rate lang yan, 25%. So, 10M times 25%, so the answer is 2,500,000. Okay, so that's DC, saka MSME na DC, RFC, saka NRFC. Tapos, assuming the year is 2021. Sir, di ba sabi nyo kanina, nag-take effect nung July 1, 2020 yung RCIT rate ng domestic and RFC. Yes. Paano yun, sir? July 1, 2020. So, paano kung 2020 ngayon? Paano, sir, kung 2020 ngayon? Paano to? Buong 2022, sir. Buong 2020 ito. Sabi ng RR5, that's 2021. Kung yan ay during transition period from train law to create law, yung entire income during the year will be divided equally. Regardless kung, alam mo sir, yung 17,450, karamihan dyan galing sa February, yung isa galing October, wala nang ganon. You just get the 17,450 or simply 8,650, divide it by the number of, divide it by 2 kasi divided equally. Okay? So, kung gagawin mo yon, so 8,650, kunwari, 8,650, solve natin ha. Divide by 2, 4,325,000 yon. So, ibig sabihin, yung January to June, train law gagamitin mo, 30%. Tapos yung July to December, create law gagamitin mo, 25%. If you do that, ito ang lalabas, 2,378,750. The other way to compute it is idiretso mo na ng 27.5%. Paano natin kinuha yan? Dahil sa train law 30%, okay? Tapos sa create law 25%, add mo yung dalawa and then divide mo ng 2. Average rate. So 30 plus 25, so that's 55. Divide by 2, 27.5%. Same lang ang lalabas, 2,378,750. Maliwanag? So divided equally ha. So ito kasi ang sabi ng RR5, that's 2021. In the computation of taxable income during the transition period, there should be no regard to the dates of the transactions within the calendar year. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin, actually sir, yung December sa November, wala na silang benta nun. O kaya baliktarin mo, actually sir, yung November, December, or yung October to December, yun yung napakalaki ang income. Yung mga prior to that, ang bababa ng income. So, walang effect yun. Divided equally yan. So, the income and expenses for the year shall be considered earned and spent equally for each month of the period. Kaya natin dinivide by 2. O kaya, ang i-divide by 2 mo na lang yung tax rate. Paano naman sir kung fiscal year? So in the case of corporations adopting the fiscal year, the taxable income shall be computed without regard pa rin to the specific date when the specific sales, purchases, and other transactions occur. Their income and expenses for the fiscal year shall be deemed to have been earned and spent equally pa rin. Apply natin ha, yung fiscal year natin. So itong fiscal year natin, halimbawa, ang fiscal year niya ay April 2020 to March 2021. O di ba ang revised create law rate ay July 1, 2020. Kaya yung April to June 2020, train law pa yan na rate. Tapos yung July 2020 to March 2021, ayan na yung 25%. Pero kung papansinin mo, 3 months yung na-cover ng train law, 9 months yung na-cover ng create law. So, dito ka pa rin. Ito kasi yung net income eh. So, 8,650 times 3 months over 12 months times 30%. And then 8,650 times 9 months over 12 months times 25%. So, you will arrive at 2,270,625. O, ganun mangyayari kapag ka transition period. Itong illustration number 2, actually pareho. So, hindi ko na kailangang i-discuss ng matindi pa to. Ipapakita ko lang na, kasi ang magiging tanong dito, income tax payable. So, kung income tax payable, kasi sa mga kinompute natin, di ba, income tax due. So, halimbawa, ito, 2,270. Siyempre, i-deduct mo yan. Kung may CWT, i-deduct mo. Kung merong quarterly payments, i-deduct mo. So dito sa illustration number 2, same problem, pero naglagay lang tayo ng withholding tax saka quarterly payment. So yung withholding tax on our income na winithheld ng mga nagbayad sa atin, deductible sa tax natin. At natural, pati yung quarterly payments natin, deductible sa tax natin. Kaya kung papansinin mo dito, ito yung 2162, Kung siya ay DC, so ito rin yung sinolve natin kanina. 2162 kung DC 25%, assuming 2020 yung 2021 yung taxable year. Nagbayad, meron daw si WT na nakaltas na 300 eh. At may quarterly payments na raw na 200 eh. So ang magiging payable mo na lang 1,662,500. So kung payable, deducted na yung CWT's quarterly payments and other applicable deductions sa income tax due. Okay? So that's RCIT. I hope kahit paano natuto ka no on how to compute properly the RCIT. So see you sa MCIT.